The cold winds of 15th century France carried whispers of war, despair, and prophecy. A nation torn apart by conflict, its people weary and hopeless, awaited a miracle. And that miracle came, not in the form of a seasoned warrior or a mighty king, but in the form of a young peasant girl from the quiet village of Domremy. Her name was Joan of Arc, and she would rise from obscurity to alter the course of history forever. Joan was born in 1412, a time when France was ravaged by the 100 Years' War. The English and their allies, the Burgundians, had pushed deep into French territory, and the rightful heir to the throne, Charles VII, seemed powerless to stop them. As a child, Joan claimed to hear divine voices, Saint Michael, Saint Catherine, and Saint Margaret, urging her to save France. These were not the delusions of a mere girl. They were the call of destiny. At the age of 17, against all odds, Joan made her way to the court of Charles VII. Clad in humble garments, but speaking with unshakable conviction, she declared that she had been sent by God to lead France to victory. Skeptical advisors tested her, yet her unwavering faith and the depth of her knowledge astonished them. Charles, desperate for hope, granted her command of an army. And so, a teenage girl in armor rode at the head of France's soldiers, a vision of divine fury. The siege of Orléans was her proving ground. The city, on the brink of falling into English hands, was Joan's first battlefield. With a banner in one hand and a sword in the other, she charged into the fray, inspiring men who had long lost the will to fight. Under her leadership, Orléans was liberated in just 9 days, a miraculous victory that electrified France. Joan became the embodiment of hope, a living legend marching toward destiny. Victory after victory followed. She led Charles VII to Reims, where he was crowned king, just as her visions had foretold. The once doubtful monarch now owed his crown to the girl who had defied fate itself. But triumphs breed enemies, and not all saw Joan as a savior. The powerful nobles feared her influence. The English saw her as a dangerous heretic. Betrayal loomed in the shadows. Captured by the Burgundians in 1430, Joan was handed over to the English, who sought to destroy not just her body, but her legend. She stood trial for heresy, accused of witchcraft and defying the church. A 19-year-old girl, alone in a courtroom filled with hostile men, she never wavered. Her words cut through the accusations like steel. I am not afraid. I was born to do this. But destiny is not always kind. Condemned by a corrupt trial, Joan was sentenced to death. On May 30th, 1431, in the heart of Rouen, flames consumed the Maid of Orleans. Yet, as the fire rose, so did her name, immortalized in the hearts of the French. Her ashes were scattered to the wind, but her legacy remained unshaken. Years later, the world recognized the injustice of her death. In 1456, the Church overturned her conviction, and in 1920, Joan of Arc was canonized as a saint. She was no longer just a warrior or a martyr. She had become an eternal symbol of courage, faith, and the indomitable human spirit. Even now, centuries later, we speak of her with awe. The girl who defied armies, the peasant who commanded kings, the saint who was burned but never silenced. Her story is not just history, it is legend. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Stay tuned for more content, and hit that like button to show your support. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.